When hearing the term scientific revolution, people usually think of astrology or scientists such as Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton who discovered gravity, but they mostly overlook the medical advancements that were made during the revolution, which is kind of dumb because without the advancements that were made and discoveries, then we wouldn't be where we are today, or maybe we would, but it would take us more time to figure out. Before people realized disease was caused by germs and stuff like that, they often looked to the Catholic Church for answers, which of course they answered with, you're sinning, you're not praying hard enough, maybe God hates you. But now we know that that is not true. The microscope was invented around 1590, creating a link between germs, hygiene, and disease, which supported the idea that no, you're not sick because God hates you. You're sick because of germs, and germs are bad. Paracelsus was a German physician who rejected traditional education and medicine. He stated that diseases like Meniere's disease or scoliosis weren't because of sin, but was actually a result of inhaling metal vapors. In 1530, he wrote a description of syphilis in which he stated it could be treated with measured doses of mercury compounds taken internally. He was the first to declare what makes a man ill can also cure him, or something like that, which cough, 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 homeopathy. He was the first to connect goiter, an enlargement of the thyroid, to drinking water containing minerals like lead. Not the good minerals, the bad ones. And he even prepared new chemical remedies linking chemistry and medicine, truly a pioneer in the domains of chemical medicine. Andreas Vesalius revolutionized the study of biology and medicine. He was known for his study of anatomy, being the first to dissect cadavers opposed to animals, which was considered to be more okay than dissecting dead people. He knew that knowledge of human anatomy was essential to surgery, so he devoted most of his time dissecting dead people. He openly did dissections on himself too, using his own methods. He realized that previous diagrams of the human body weren't based on human dissections, especially since the Roman Catholic Church had banned them, but they were based on dissections of other animals like pigs and dogs. Using his own illustrations, he printed 7 books on the structure of the human body in 1543. Thanks to him, people are better informed over the human body and what it actually looks like, and human dissections are more okay now, I guess. William Harvey was an English physician and was the first to recognize the full circulation of blood in the human body. Before Harvey's discovery, people believed in a lesser circulation, where blood circulated from the heart to the lungs, and that's it. There was no circulation of the blood throughout the whole body, just heart to lungs. Harvey believed there was 2 separate blood systems, one carrying nutritive blood, which carried nutrients from the liver to the rest of the body, and the other being vital blood, which carried the life-giving principle to the lungs. We know these 2 blood systems today as deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. Harvey also investigated the nature of the heartbeat, seeing the heart as an organic pump. And even though Harvey's theory of circulation was first opposed by conservative physicians, by the time of his death, it was well established and accepted. To kind of summarize it all, but not really, the medical aspect of the scientific revolution is often overlooked, but it shouldn't be, because without the discoveries made, and we wouldn't be where we are today in the medical world. And of course, these are only some of the scientists that made medical advancements during the revolution, but even these few impacted the world of medicine as we know it. Thanks for hopefully paying attention.